We want to live in a country that's free from cruelty. For animals like Mr. Vinny the Fox, but for all animals.
And the seal goes ow, 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 but there's no sound that no one knows. What does the fox say?
Mr. Fox says, don't go out in the daytime. So I came across Vinny the Fox Cub whilst browsing through the League Against Cruel Sports YouTube channel. And it seems that Vinny the Fox is running for Parliament, I think. Election on some seat somewhere, I guess. And as you can see, from the intro at the beginning, it's all very, very, very cringy and a little bit embarrassing. But I digress. I don't want to go into that too much. But regardless, yeah, I did actually, looking this up, looking for the website, I did actually discover that apparently, I don't know if it's related or not, he seems to be also suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. I don't know if perhaps he's been shot at before, or I don't know, maybe I've had some interaction with him or something at some point. I don't know. But anyway, he does have a spokesperson, because obviously being a fox cub, he can't speak. So let's hear what he's got to say for himself.
Thank you for coming. I will now read a prepared statement on behalf of Vinny the Fox. Dear peoples, my name is Vinny. I am a fox cub and I'm 7 3/4 weeks old. I live with my mum and my dad and my brother and my twin sister Mabel. Mum says Mabel has gone on holiday. She has been gone a long time. I miss her. Mum says that there is a big competition going on with all the peoples. Mum says that if we can get more peoples helping us, then we can stop the scary things happening. Maybe then Mabel will come back.
So you can see the level that they are operating at here. It's equally cringy, really, isn't it, to the sort of dance routine that they're sort of going for at the beginning. But it's basically a combination of anthropomorphism 101, as you would expect from these people, where, you're sort of talking about, the fox having its sort of sister and its mum, and his sister's gone away. I guess she's been shot at, probably. Maybe she came across me at some point. I don't know. And then you've got that, and then you're combining that with infantilizing the people you're talking to, that you're sending the message to. I mean, it's really embarrassing. But then maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is a clever ruse, because after all, I mean, what's the average IQ in the UK? About 99 or 100, something like that. That means at least 50% of the UK are much lower than that. And some people, they might be as low as like 70, like sort of Forrest Gump level. So maybe that's the sort of the demographic they're going for. But that said, I'm yet to actually see what they actually want. So let's see if we can find out.
The Guardian, what are Vinny's main policies?
Vinny's policies are clear and simple. He'd like to see the Hunting Act maintained, and he'd like to see an increase in sentencing for animal cruelty. Currently stands at 6 months, and we believe something along the lines of 5 years would be more appropriate.
Fox News, what are your views on immigration, Vinny?
Well, Vinny's been very clear on this. As a fox cub, he doesn't know what it is, and therefore holds no views.
Now, call me cynical, but I have a sneaking suspicion that these people aren't real journalists asking the question. It's very telling, in fact, that Fox News decided to pipe up and ask about immigration, because, Fox News wouldn't really be very interested in a story like this, I wouldn't have thought, because it's in the UK, but obviously it's a fox and, playing on words, etc., whatever. But what I do find interesting is that he says he wants to increase sentencing from, 18 months to 5 years for animal cruelty. Now, I assume he means the maximum sentence for animal cruelty, obviously to put things in perspective. And to be honest, you know what? I would actually be inclined to agree. I think that somebody who commits a really heinous act to an animal, there's a strong possibility that they're going to go on to be some sort of serial killer, perhaps. You see stories, I mean, you don't know how true they are, but you see these stories on Facebook and so on of someone brutalising a dog and cutting its ears off or something horrible like that, then yeah, I can see the argument. But he doesn't mean that. Does he? What he means is what he interprets as animal cruelty, and he will interpret pest control, anything really. I mean, I suppose really from their standpoint, just eating meat would be grounds for 5 years in prison for animal cruelty. But oh well, let's hear what else he's got to say.
Yeah, HuffPost, what do you think about a free vote on fox hunting being included in the Conservative manifesto?
Well, Vinny does have a view on this. He's very disappointed and saddened that people want to make it legal to kill them again. And not just him, but hares and deer, and make hare coursing legal again. So, yeah, he's quite upset by it.
BBC, what can people do about it?
Well, they can tell their local candidates how they feel about it, and they can ask their local candidates how the candidate feels about it. Because the more anti-hunt MPs we have in the next Parliament, the better the odds of Vinny staying alive.
Now, I guess it's hardly surprising that the Vinny the Fox campaign would be against a free vote in Parliament, mostly because, of course, they realise that they don't represent the majority of people in this country, and so a free vote on the genuine merits of fox hunting would not be in their interests. And it's interesting because, say what you like about Tony Blair, and it's an interesting one because he was asked what was his biggest regrets from when he was Prime Minister. And he didn't say the Iraq War, which he still maintains was a good idea. But what he did say was that the fox hunting ban was a terrible whitewash because all the evidence that was presented in Parliament was, categorically demonstrated that it was the best thing for conservation. And then, of course, there was all the other aspects of economic considerations, which meant that it shouldn't have been banned, but they pushed it through anyway, and he believed it was wrong. But what I find interesting with this guy is he seems to think that it's illegal to kill foxes at all, or deer as well. But no, mate, we have to shoot them because we can't hunt them with dogs anymore, and because we have to shoot them, it's reactive rather than proactive. It's indiscriminate.
Yeah, from the Express, what does Vinny say to people who think we need fox hunts to control foxes?
Vinny doesn't believe he needs to be controlled. Fox hunting has nothing to do with fox control.
Channel 5, hill farmers might disagree with that. They want their lambs to be safe.
Well, only 1% of lamb losses are due to fox predation. The other 99% are down to farming techniques. So Vinny doesn't believe he needs to be controlled.
The Telegraph, fox numbers have increased since hunting was made illegal.
One study has actually found that fox numbers decreased by 34% since fox hunting has been made illegal. So again, fox hunting has nothing to do with fox control.
Urban City Weekly. Urban foxes ate my rubbish.
Put a lid on it.
So isn't it interesting how he's obviously picked up on some talking points in some far leftist animal rights rag and has decided to sort of present them as factual, i.e. suggesting that 99% of lambs that are killed are because of farming techniques and only 1% are from fox predation. Now, call me a cynic here, but I don't believe that this towny bearded beta male has spent an awful lot of time sheep farming, and perhaps if he had, he'd have a better understanding of what kills sheep. Because yeah, some of them get their eyes pecked out by crows if they're born in the field, and you can see that. But an awful lot of them get killed by foxes. Foxes actually follow the sheep around, and a lot of the time, yeah, they can't get near the lambs. But the reason they follow them is because when the tails get docked, they eat those. They like to feed on them. And then they'll wait for a lamb to get separated from the sort of herd, as it were, and so the ewe can't knock them about, and then they'll take it. It's the way it works, and you can't blame the fox for that. It's just what it does. But foxes have no natural predators. This is the thing, without a natural predator, we have to redress the balance. Now, that gives us two choices. We can either shoot them or we can hunt them with dogs. If we hunt them with dogs, we are mimicking nature. We are mimicking normal predation upon these animals, which means only the sick, only the ill and mangy and the runts of the litter of these foxes get killed. So yeah, it's not just about fox control with fox hunting. It's actually a very effective form of conservation, maintaining a healthy population of foxes, preventing what otherwise happens, which is that you get an overabundance during the summer months, and then during the winter they get mange and diseased, and then they starve to death. You know, you have to make a decision here. And as for town foxes, you know, I look out of my window often at like 3 o'clock in the morning and see foxes in my street. My dad's dog was killed by foxes. It is something that needs to be addressed. We can have a debate about how to do it, but to suggest that it's just not a problem is retarded.